Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking beyond just, hitting that C1 level in English, which is, let's face it, a huge achievement.
Oh, absolutely. Massive.
But we're exploring how getting your English to that advanced point, C1 and maybe even beyond, isn't just ticking a box. It's more like a launch pad.
Exactly. A threshold.
Yeah.
It's where English stops being just a tool you use and starts really fundamentally reshaping your life.
Yeah, moving from just understanding to actually thriving in English globally.
Precisely. And, C1 is often seen as the goal, the peak. What we're seeing, especially from people who've made that jump, is that this is where the really deep, sometimes unexpected life changes kick in. We're past just polishing grammar points here. We're talking about unlocking completely new ways to live, work, connect, engage with the whole world, really.
Right. So our mission today in this deep dive is to unpack how using your English at this level, C1+, creates these big shifts. We've looked at some really compelling stories and advice aimed specifically at helping you, as a C1 learner, make the most of those skills you've worked so hard for.
Yeah, and we'll break it down. We'll look at the impact on your career, definitely, but also on knowledge, education.
Travel and culture, too, right?
Oh, for sure. And personal growth, that confidence factor, plus global connections, and just, accessing information and entertainment without filters.
Okay, a full picture then.
A holistic view, yeah. It's how this one skill, really honed, ripples outwards.
Great. Let's jump right in then. The world of work. This seems like one of the first places people notice a massive difference.
It often is. Because suddenly, your playing field isn't just local anymore, is it? It blows wide open.
It becomes truly global.
Absolutely. Our sources really hammer this home. Before C1, your options might feel, limited by geography, by language barriers and high-stakes situations.
Right.
But with that C1 level confidence, handling tricky negotiations, writing nuanced reports, leading international calls, things you really need C1 for, suddenly you're looking at a completely different job market.
It's not just more jobs, it's different jobs.
Exactly. Roles that need that sophisticated understanding of global business, complex collaborations, stuff that just wasn't accessible before.
We've got a great example, Priya. Tell us about her journey.
Yeah, Priya. She is a software engineer based in Bangalore. Technically brilliant. Her English was okay, maybe B2-ish.
Functional, but maybe not commanding.
Right. She felt she was missing things in client meetings, couldn't quite land her points with the impact she wanted with international teams. Subtle cues, maybe. So she really doubled down on getting to a strong C1, specifically targeting business communication, presentation skills, understanding, sort of Western corporate communication styles.
And the result?
Pretty dramatic, actually. She started leading international teams. You could see her confidence just bloom. And not long after, she got offered a senior management job in the UK.
Wow.
Yeah. Her story really shows it, doesn't it? English wasn't just a nice to have for her promotion. It gave her the platform, a global stage for her skills.
That's incredibly powerful. So for listeners who are at C1 and thinking about their careers, what practical steps can they take?
Okay, some really solid tips came up. First, specialize your vocabulary, like really drill down into the specific language, the jargon of your industry.
How do you do that?
Read trade journals, join international webinars in your field, maybe even make your own glossaries. Really own that niche language. Second, master formal communication.
Emails, reports, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Practice writing them. Pay attention to tone, clarity, conciseness. Tools like Grammarly can help, but it's about understanding the why behind it.
Makes sense. What else?
Presentation and negotiation skills. Huge. Record yourself. Get feedback. Watch your fluency, your clarity, even body language if it's video.
Ooh, recording yourself, that takes courage.
It does, but it's so effective. Also, understanding cross-cultural communication. Business etiquette isn't universal, even in English. Knowing those differences is key at C1.
Good point.
And finally, network. Use English to connect. Online forums, LinkedIn groups relevant to your field, industry conferences if you can. Start conversations. Share your ideas.
Great advice. Okay, let's shift gears. Beyond work, knowledge and education, how does C1 change the game there? It must be more than just reading textbooks.
Oh, massively more. At C1, the sheer volume of academic stuff you can access just explodes. That language barrier practically vanishes.
So much research is in English, right?
The vast majority. Cutting-edge papers, top journals, MOOCs from leading universities. It's almost all primarily in English.
Yeah.
C1 gives you a direct, unfiltered line to all of that.
Like getting a key to a giant global library.
Exactly. And you can critically engage with it, compare perspectives from different countries without relying on translations, which always lose something.
We have another story here, Javier. Tell us about him.
Right, Javier. He's from Chile, wanted to be a marine biologist. Super specific dream, studying coral reefs.
Yeesh.
Very. And he knew the top research, the leading experts, were mostly in English-speaking places, particularly Australia in his case. His B2 English just wasn't going to cut it for a demanding master's program.
So he knuckled down.
For 2 years. Focused intensely on academic English, scientific writing, the whole package. He hit C1, got accepted into that top Australian program. For him, English was literally the ship carrying his scientific dreams.
That really shows how it enables specific high-level goals. So for C1 learners wanting to boost their education.
Immerse yourself in real academic materials. Don't just read summaries. Tackle peer-reviewed journals, advanced textbooks in your field. Try to grasp the arguments, the assumptions, not just the words.
And writing, that's crucial in academia.
Absolutely. Practice academic writing, essays, summaries, learn citation styles properly. Use University Writing Center resources if you can find them online. Also work on lecture comprehension.
How? Just listen more.
Actively listen. University lectures online, TED Talks on complex topics, academic podcasts. Practice taking effective notes. MOCs are brilliant for this too, structured learning.
Right.
And maybe even if you're not planning to study abroad right now, look at materials for tests like TOEFL or IELTS Academic. Just practicing helps you understand that specific type of English.
Good tips. Okay, let's talk travel and culture. This is a big motivator for language learners. How does C1 deepen that experience? It's beyond just getting by, isn't it?
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Basic English lets you be a tourist. You can navigate, order food, ask simple questions. You manage.
Yeah, functional.
But C1 turns you into an explorer. You can go beyond the surface, connect with local people properly, understand cultural subtleties, handle unexpected situations with way more confidence.
You move from observing to participating, maybe?
Exactly. You can understand the local humor, the perspectives shared in casual conversation, things that are just invisible at lower levels.
Tell us about Anja the backpacker.
Andra's great. She's from Berlin, loves backpacking, traveled a lot in Southeast Asia. She could manage okay in tourist spots with her English.
But she wanted more.
Yeah, she felt she was missing out on real connection. So she actively worked on her conversational fluency and her ability to understand different English accents. That was key. Pushed herself to C1. It transformed her trips. She started getting invited into people's homes, having these amazing spontaneous chats about their lives, their views, gaining insights no guidebook could ever give her.
Wow.
For her, C1 wasn't about easy logistics. It was about unlocking genuine human connection while traveling.
That really paints a picture. So advice for C1 travelers wanting that deeper dive.
Definitely embrace spontaneous conversations.
Yeah.
Don't be shy. Chat with people. Also, consume local English media if you can. Newspapers, TV, radio. Get a feel for the place beyond the tourist bubble.
Learn about different Englishes too.
Yes. Understanding that English isn't monolithic helps hugely with comprehension and respect. Go beyond the obvious tourist traps. Use your English to explore more local areas. And crucially, develop awareness of cultural nuances in communication. Politeness, humor. They vary.
Okay, now let's touch on something maybe less tangible, but just as important. Personal growth and confidence.
Ah, yes. This is huge. Maybe harder to measure, but the impact is profound.
How so?
Being able to express complex thoughts, your nuanced feelings in a second language, and feeling understood by a much wider range of people, that does wonders for your self-belief.
It's about finding your voice globally.
In a way, yes. Having the linguistic tools to show your true self, your inner world, without feeling constantly limited, that's incredibly empowering.
We have the story of Kenji, the artist.
Right, Kenji from Osaka. Talented artist, but quite shy. He hesitated to share his work internationally because he felt his English wasn't good enough to explain his ideas, connect with people about his art.
So he decided to work on his English.
He did. Pushed himself to C1. Not for a job specifically, but for himself. For empowerment, self-expression, he joined online art groups, practiced talking about his work, started a blog in English.
How did that go?
Amazingly well. The positive feedback, just being able to communicate directly with people worldwide about his passion, it massively boosted his confidence. Not just as an artist, but as a person. C1 gave him the courage to share his unique view.
That's wonderful. So for C1 learners focusing on personal growth, what can they do?
Reflective journaling in English is powerful. Helps you articulate those deeper thoughts. Joining English-speaking hobby groups online or offline is great too. Low pressure, shared interests.
Practicing opinions.
Yes. Deliberately practice articulating your views on different things. Structure your arguments. Use persuasive language. Set small speaking challenges for yourself, like starting a conversation or posting a comment online.
And the classic advice.
Embrace imperfection. Mistakes are part of learning, even at C1. See them as growth opportunities, not failures. Seriously.
Good reminder. Okay, moving on to building connections. How does C1 English help weave that global web of relationships? It's more than just networking, right?
Much more. At C1, English becomes like social glue. It lets you build real friendships, deeper collaborations across borders. You can share humor, understand cultural references, have those nuanced conversations that build real rapport.
Beyond just introductions and surface chat.
Exactly. You can grasp the subtleties, the empathy required for genuine connection when cultures differ. It's about understanding, not just translating.
Tell us about Fatima, the activist.
Fatima's story is inspiring. She's an activist in Cairo working on women's rights. Her earlier English was okay for basic communication.
But not enough for advocacy.
Right. She felt she couldn't convey the nuances, the urgency of the local situation in international forums. So she dedicated herself to reaching C1, specifically focusing on persuasive language, intercultural communication skills.
And the impact.
She became a much more powerful voice. She could really connect, persuade, mobilize. She ended up co-founding an international network for women's rights activists, using English as their main language for everything: collaboration, advocacy, support.
Wow. Language as a tool for global change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For her, C1 English was the key to building that global movement.
So for C1 learners wanting to build these kinds of meaningful global connections,
use social media and online forums thoughtfully. Engage with people who share your interests or passions wherever they are. Join international online communities, professional or hobby-based.
listening is important too, I imagine.
Crucial. Be an active, empathetic listener in cross-cultural chats. Really try to understand different perspectives and communication styles. Learn to navigate those differences, directness versus indirectness, humor, etc.
And share your own culture.
Definitely. Don't just consume, contribute. Sharing parts of your own culture through English enriches the conversation for everyone and builds bridges.
Okay, final area. Unfiltered access, information, entertainment, the global conversation.
Yeah, this is about freedom, really. At C1, you break free from relying on translations or simplified versions.
You get the real deal.
Exactly. You can appreciate films, books, music in their original English. Understand the nuances and global news from the source. Participate fully in online discussions. No linguistic gatekeepers. It's incredibly liberating.
It must broaden your perspective enormously.
Hugely. You're plugged directly into the global zeitgeist in many ways.
Let's hear about Mateo, the film buff.
Mateo, yeah. He's from Buenos Aires, loves movies, but he always felt something was missing watching American or British films with subtitles or dubbing.
Like a layer was lost.
Precisely. So he really worked on his English, pushed to C1, focusing specifically on colloquialisms, idioms, cultural references, and dialogue.
And his movie watching changed?
Completely transformed, he said. He could finally get the wordplay, the subtle humor, the full impact of the performances. It was like seeing his favorite films properly for the first time.
That's a great example of enhancing something you already love. Practical tips for C1 learners here.
Watch films and shows first with English subtitles, then challenge yourself without. Helps train the ear. Read widely novels, articles, blogs, news. Whatever interests you, read it in English.
Hey, listening.
Immerse yourself. Diverse podcasts, music, pay attention to lyrics, discussion styles. Follow international news sources directly. Engage with online content creators. See how native speakers actually talk.
So we've covered a lot: career, knowledge, travel, personal growth, connections, access. C1 clearly unlocks so much, but it's not game over, is it?
Not at all. That's a crucial point. C1 isn't the finish line. To keep these benefits, to deepen them, you need to keep learning. It's a lifelong habit.
Language keeps evolving, after all.
Exactly. New words, new expressions pop up all the time. So stay curious. Keep seeking out challenges. Integrate English into your daily life naturally, not just as a study subject.
What else helps?
If you get the chance, teach or mentor someone in English. It really solidifies your own knowledge. Set new goals for yourself, maybe mastering a specific type of writing or understanding a difficult accent better. And yeah, keep embracing mistakes. Still happens at C1, still okay.
It really does sound like getting to C1 Plus is less about acquiring a skill and more about investing in a different kind of life.
That's a perfect way to put it. A richer, more connected, more fulfilling life. The source material really emphasized how it rewrote the narrator's own story, opened doors they couldn't have imagined before.
And for you listening, if you're at C1, you've already shown incredible dedication. You've done the heavy lifting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the exciting part now is leveraging those skills, really putting them to work. Let them transform parts of your life you might not even expect. The stories we shared are just glimpses of the possibilities.
So the message is, keep going, stay curious, keep connecting, keep challenging yourself, enjoy the journey with English.
Yeah. That door to a truly global life is wide open for you. And maybe the best chapters of your story, the ones written in and through English, are actually still ahead.
A fantastic thought to end on. Thank you.
My pleasure.